In today's video, we want to talk about people using LibreOffice that have dyslexia. So we want to know what LibreOffice is offering in helping those persons. Let's talk first about fonts. So in this document, we have a capital L, a lowercase l, a capital I, and a lowercase I. So you can see that it's a problem for anyone to read these two letters. Let's change, for example, to see in different fonts the same characters. Let's use a serif, not a serif, so a very decorated font. Let's see an auto sans, and also let's see open dyslexic font for this one. So let's compare. You can see it's very hard to read, for example, between these letters and also here. Let's make another try here with Libération Sans. So the difference is very small between lowercase l and a capital I. You can see it's 1 millimeter difference. Very easy for open dyslexic font because we have a capital L. You can see this is a lowercase l, is very similar. You can see it have the same feature, and this is capital I and lowercase I. So you can see from this example that is very important the font you use. So for dyslexic persons, it's very hard to read something like this, even with not having decoration, but it's very hard to read, but it's much easier to read in a font made special for them. What a person with dyslexia can do if he prefers a font like this. For example, imagine that we have a text looking like this. It's very hard to read, so of course what we can do, we can increase the font. Another thing is we can increase the space between lines. We can go from here. By default is like that, and it's very hard to follow the line because your eyes can move on the next one. So you can select the text and change from 1 to 1.5 or 1.15 or even 2. Now it's easier to follow the line. How can you make that to be the default? It's very easy. For example, if I want the font to be 13, the font name to be Libération Sans, and so on, very easy. Go to Tools, Options, go to LibreOffice Writer, Basic Fonts. Here you change everything. Also the font size, and of course for example, if you use this body, you can see it's a body text, you can add it, and if you want 1.5 line, you change like that. And even if I entering, for example, let's change this to heading 1, and I want to be now a body text. Let's see the fonts, the line spacing is 1.5. So any paragraph I will write will have the same height I want in order for me to be easier to read. Another thing that dyslexic people need is darker background, because it's very hard to read on a white paper. So very easy, right click, page style, and change your background to something darker, pleasant for your eyes. Okay, you can see on the left how the background is changing to something different. play with that until you find something nice for your eyes. Okay, now let's continue. Another thing useful for dyslexic people is in the settings of your system. In my case, it's Linux. So you have an option in accessibility, in universal access, high contrast. So now when I want to go to the menus, I can have a border around each element I want to click. When I want to change the page, I can see easier the buttons here. I can easier see that I have buttons and everything is easier to use. Another thing I want to talk about is spelling. For example, if I made a mistake here and maybe here and here one, tools automatic spell checking is highlighting the problems in my text, right click and choose the right version. If I don't see a correction, for example, let's see here, if I don't find the right answer to my problem, at least I see it is a problem, so I can correct until everything is fine. Let's suppose now that instead of doing, I'm spelling wrong. So for example, every time instead of writing doing, I'm writing doing. So what can I do? Go to tools, autocorrect options, English, and here replace doing with doing. This should be replaced with doing. Let's try low letter. Okay, let's try again. What am I doing? You can see it corrected me. Very nice. And one more thing I want to show you today. When I'm using in a document headings, for example, this is a heading, and let's go on another page. This is another heading. One way of telling the document that this is a heading, some people do like that, bold, but this is wrong. Let's see the correct way. So I'm going to the first one and I tell LibreOffice that this is a heading, and also here I tell this is a heading. And now if I go to navigator, I can see this is a heading and this is another heading. Instead of going and for a dyslexic person to read every line to find a heading, it's much easier to go to the first heading, to the second heading, and from here they change the text. So use this thing. So mention to LibreOffice that this is a heading, and LibreOffice will know here in navigator that this is a heading, and you will move faster to your document without need to read every line to find what you need. So one more thing I want to show you, tools, options. As I said here, you can change, instead of Libération Sans, I can change, for example, to open dyslexic, and also for headings. And you can see on the left, if I select everything and remove manual formatting, all the text is now with open dyslexic font. So this way, if I open a new document and I'm writing something, you can see I have open dyslexic font. If I want to specify a title, I said this is my title, you can see it is in the same font. So it's very easy to make LibreOffice help with your problem with dyslexia. We have another menu here, accessibility. For example, some people with dyslexia use screen readers. So you can access that, and in this case, I don't have a title for the document. It's untitled too, but it's not set. So let's fix it. My document about LibreOffice. And now, when the screen reader will read, this document will mention the title. It's much easier for your documents to be accessible. So you have here in the bottom this accessibility, so no issue found, and also you have this navigator option on the right. So this way you can make sure your documents are accessible to all kinds of people, easier to read, in the right font, in the right size, and so your document looks beautiful. Thank you.